Hello, once again, this is Omobola Stephen, the host of Lifewell Live by Omobola Stephen. Lifewell Live by Omobola Stephen is a self-improvement and personal development podcast. We focus on personal development topics and occasion expert and professionals who are adept in these topics. Personal development and self-improvement is a lifelong process that we must embrace in order for us to move from where we are to where we need to be. Now, all the innate gifts, the potentials, and even all that we're passionate about that lies within can only come to the fore when we look within and we personally develop ourselves in this regard. Today, I have Lucy Wahl, who's a professional organizer and the founder of LMW Edit on the Library Spamable TV. Now, we will be talking about home organizing, such an interesting topic, especially for the women folks. Hello, Lucy. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for joining me on the show, Lucy. I'd like us to begin with this question. I'd like you to tell me about your niche, home organizing work. What enlists this spark? What's the passion like?
So I love doing home organizing because it is a simple thing that can have a big impact. So I really find with my clients, and I tend to work with professionals who are very busy. When I work with couples, both of them are working, life is just crazy. And having a space that you can come home to that is organized really opens up more time and energy in your life to focus on those things that you really want to be doing or need to be doing, like work, like parenting, all that kind of stuff.
All right, that's good to know. So let's look at the modern urban living, which we also call the city dwellers versus the suburban families. How can these two different lifestyles, how can they achieve their organization goals, especially in these dynamic times that we're in?
Sure. So I live in a city. I live in San Francisco, California, and the spaces are small. You know, they're smaller apartments, smaller condos, and we are also, you may not know this, a city of mostly transplants. Most people who live in San Francisco came from somewhere else, and a lot of them came from places where they were in a suburban area. They grew up in a bigger home. There was a backyard. There was a garage. This sort of like idyllic American suburban living that you sort of see on TV, and then they come to a city like San Francisco and they go, oh my God, where am I going to put my stuff? I don't have a garage. I don't have like a giant pantry near my kitchen, you know? And so my work is all about helping people how to figure out how to live within the footprint of what they have and be happy with what they have, rather than going, oh, well, I need to keep this or I need to stuff this somewhere because someday I'm going to have that bigger house. And when you live in a city, you may not have that bigger house. And also part of happiness and contentment is being happy in the present, being able to be present where you are right now. And so if you're always thinking about, well, someday, you're not going to be able to optimize the space that you have right now. And so it's a challenge in urban environments with smaller places, but also it's kind of fun for me. I sort of figure out new systems that work for all of my clients. And a lot of our housing stock here is pretty old, relatively speaking. Like I live in a more than 100-year-old house. And so you get weird spaces and strange shapes of rooms and all that kind of stuff. So it's all part of the challenge, but it's fun.
Oh, sure, it does. Now, so how can we categorize everything that we heard?
How to categorize? Well, the hard answer is there is not just one way to do it. Any organizing system has to work for the people that use it, and each person's home is going to look a little different. You'll see a lot of content on TikTok, on Instagram, on Pinterest about this is the way to organize your stuff. And I always tell my clients it is easier for me to change the organizing system to fit the person than it is to change the person to fit the system, because habit change is very difficult. You're a personal development podcast. This is what you're talking about all the time, is habit change. And so if we categorize and create systems that make sense to the person, it's going to be easier for that person to keep it up. So in terms of categorizing, I tell people store like with like, whatever like with like means to you.
All right, that's also good to know, Lucy. Thanks for sharing that with us. We're talking about categorizing here. So let's talk about decluttering. Now we talk
Yes.
about, decluttering your own personal life, from chaos to order. And now we're focusing on home organizing, which is also very critical. So when is the time to declutter a house, right? Where should a person begin first?
Where to begin? Well, I would say begin with the spaces that you use a lot, because having the spaces that you use a lot decluttered will have an immediate impact on your quality of life. For a lot of people, this could be the kitchen, because we just spend so much time in our kitchens, nourishing our families. And that's sort of like the heartbeat of the home, right? Is the kitchen. So that's a really good place to start. But I would say any space that you use often, because it's going to make a big impact.
So if we are not using the kitchen or the pantry, if we decided that we're going to begin from the sitting room, how does it look like?
Mm.
Or the living room?
Well, yeah. So how do you declutter a room? Well, two different approaches. If the room is like, it used to be organized, but it's kind of gotten messy, but you can put it back together again, I tend to go category by category. So let's look at all the books together, for example, in the sitting room. Or let's look at if you have blankets and pillows to like cozy up on the couch, let's look at those sort of category by category. If the room is quite cluttered and there is not any organizing system that anybody used to use, then I actually go just from one corner of the room all the way around the room to the other corner. And I just look at everything. Because if it's not already categorized, it's kind of hard to deal with. So it depends on what you're starting with.
Oh, Lucy, I know you've got a lot of clients in this regard. Who've got a lot of home organizing challenges they've had to face one way or the other. Tell me about one or two of their experiences and how you help them to deal with it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've had a couple of clients actually, but one in particular that I'm thinking of who I just loved working with, a woman in her mid-30s, living alone in an apartment in San Francisco. But the key is she was about to move in with her boyfriend. And so she wanted to go into this relationship and this living with this significant other. She was hoping it was going to lead to marriage. And so she wanted to set herself up for success. And she didn't really know how to do it. And she wanted me to teach her how to have an organized space. And so that was really fun because she was really open to learning. And we got to go through just the basic techniques, like how to declutter, how to categorize, how to store. And I really got her set up so that she felt like when she and her boyfriend moved in together, she was ready and they could create a new home together instead of her just bringing like all of her stuff into his place.
Lucy, now, looking at just what you shared with us, I'm thinking, just setting us up for perfectionism, right? When we're looking at all the strategies you're providing for us to follow. Now, we're talking about managing or organizing the home, especially where the kids are, right? We thought that we should give the kids, the leeway for them to have, a good time in the house, have fun, throw things around. What's your own thoughts on this?
For organizing with kids can be challenging, right? Because there's always stuff coming in. There's toys, there's clothes. Grandparents are giving gifts, and aunts and uncles are giving gifts, and holidays and birthdays, and it can be a lot. And what I've noticed with my families that I work with is kids need a lot less than you think. And when they have too many options, they don't use what they have. I mean, it's adults are the same. If you've gone to a grocery store and you saw 17 kinds of jam and you didn't know what to buy, that's the same feeling as kids have when there's too many toys and they don't know what to play with. So when organizing with kids, I always say, look at what's coming in the home and you can stop it at the door. Like don't bring it in and let it become part of your life and then go, oh God, we have to get rid of things. Sort of apply the filter at the door. So say the child comes home with a backpack full of things from school, like let's open this up. What's homework? What's garbage? Was there a permission slip I need to fill out? Are there toys that we need to put away? Like having the door be the place where you look at stuff instead of just like dumping it in the child's room or dumping it in the living room and dealing with it later. Dealing with it later is always a recipe for disaster, unfortunately.
Of course, absolutely. I agree to that. So, but I really need you to quickly share with me the 5 secrets to having a really super organized family.
So 5 secrets. Well, let's see. Number one, when in doubt, do it now. Anything, any small task, if it takes less than 5 minutes, just go ahead and do that now. Number two, divide and conquer. So I always tell my families, give each member of the family a space that's theirs to store the stuff that's theirs, because that gives them responsibility and it also empowers them. And especially when you're talking about kids, you want to be teaching them how to organize for themselves, because eventually they're going to grow up and move out and they need those skills. And then let's see, well, those are actually my main two. I don't even need five. Those are my main two. When in doubt, do it now, and give everybody their own space.
Absolutely. Thanks. And once again, Lucy Wahl, any exciting news or any projects in the pipeline you'd like to share?
Oh, exciting projects in the pipeline. Yeah, we have a couple great projects going on now where families have started having kids and they're really busy. I'm thinking of one client coming up in particular. She has 4 children and I think they are all under age 7. So things have gotten a little crazy. And so we're going to help her get it back together.
Nice, nice. Good to know. I wish you best of luck in that.
Thank you very much.
Lucy, you are an home organizing and specialist or expert. Do you have any parting words you'd like to share with anyone?
Any
With
parting
the
words?
Well, or anybody? Yes.
Yes, I would. And that is, it's just stuff. That's all. It's just stuff, and it doesn't have to be a big deal and it doesn't have to be important. It's just stuff. And once you sort of are able to realize that stuff is just stuff and the important things are the people and the relationships, then it's a lot easier to make decisions.
Right. Thanks once again, Lucy Wahl. I wanted to ask you this question. Is your niche focused only on home organizing? Did you also target the office?
No, I only do homes, only residential.
All right. Good to know. Can you share your website and your social media handles?
Yes, absolutely. My website is lmwedits.com, and I am at lmwedits on Instagram, Threads, and Facebook.
Absolutely. Thank you once again, Lucy Wahl. I really had a great time listening to your expertise. Now, talking about home organizing work, Lucy Wahl is a professional organizer and also the founder of LMW Edits. I wish you best of luck once again, all the projects that you embark upon, Lucy.
Thank you so much.
All right. Now, if you'd like to catch up with any missed episodes of the podcast, you can do so on any cross-promotion platforms or any distribution platforms online. Just search for Library by Omobola Stephen. And there you go. I promise you, you're going to have a great time as you listen to experts and thought leaders, professionals share their thoughts on topics or subjects on the personal development and self-improvement. I need to stay safe always. I talk to you soon.